Anyway, during this, I got a note from a friend who had just watched the Open to Greta Van Susteren last night on the Fox News channel. Let me read you the note. Dear Rush, watching Greta's opener just now. She has Amy Kellogg, Fox reporterette, on from Paris. And Amy Kellogg says that one of the two Karachi brothers who killed the French magazine people said that he was moved by images of Abu Ghraib. And my friend sent me this in a state of, two states. It was a state of panic and also a state of exaltation because he listened to the program yesterday. And what we had discussed on the program yesterday, the New York Times, if you'll remember, very, 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 very worried about a backlash against Islamists, a backlash against Muslims. And they were worried that being truthful in this story would create a backlash. We went through all of that. And we had a caller yesterday talk about, the caller called to agree with me that I'd made the point. Well, here's the New York Times worried about backlash. What did they do by publishing the Abu Ghraib pictures? By creating a backlash, they're out there saying George Bush with Gitmo is a terrorist recruiting tool. Here's the New York Times publishing pictures of what happened at Abu Ghraib, prison in Iraq, where we had made a pyramid out of terrorists in their underwear. You remember all that? The New York Times published the pictures to expose the Bush administration, to get them in trouble. New York Times posed the pictures to make the United States look bad, but in effect, they also... this guy, one of the brothers that shot up the French magazine, hey, yeah, that was the pictures of Abu Ghraib that got me all wanting to get involved in this. And I had to send my friend a reply, as I think you may be looking at this the wrong way. And I'll share with you the right way to look at this when we come back. Okay, so my buddy sends me this note, says that I'm just watching the opening of Greta's show on Fox, and Amy Kellogg reporting from Paris. And she says that one of Karachi brothers who killed the Charles Hebdo people was, quote, moved by images of Abu Ghraib. And he'd remembered we'd been talking about it on the program yesterday. I had chided the New York Times. New York Times, all worried about backlash, but what the hell did they cause? And here was evidence of it. It wasn't just New York Times. Every United States media outlet ran, and the Democrat Party made campaign ads out of those photos from Abu Ghraib. And here you now had a terrorist, one of two terrorists that had ripped up that magazine and killed 11 people, claiming that he had become militant because of the photos of Abu Ghraib. And this guy says, see, Rusty, they make your point. It's a great... I said, no. I hate to tell you, but you're looking at this the wrong way. You have to look at this. By the way, if Amy Kellogg of Fox is reporting, it means it's on AP somewhere. And it's at NBC somewhere. It wasn't exclusive to her. This is not a put down of her, but it had to be everywhere, is my point. In fact, it was NBC News. During his trial, Karachi testified the alleged ringleader, Farid Betyetu, then a 26-year-old preacher and janitor, taught him that suicide bombers could die as martyrs. But these guys wanted to die as martyrs today. Well, but no, wait a second now. Wait just a second. They wanted to die as martyrs. No, I've not lost my place on Abu Ghraib. Just sit tight, folks. My brain goes in 15,000 different directions at once. They want to die as martyrs, but France doesn't have the death penalty. The cops had to shoot them, but the French don't like the cops shooting guns. It was a real problem. And finally, the cops shooting the terrorists won the day. And they theoretically got to go out as martyrs, but it had to happen. They couldn't be captured if we were going to let them go out the way they wanted to, and it appears that that's what we're going to do. Anyway, just an interesting sidelight to the I want to go out as a martyr story. France didn't have a death penalty, so that meant the cops have got to step up and start the journey to 73 virgins. Anyway, I told my friend, you're looking at this Abu Ghraib story all wrong. One of these guys that blew up the magazine claims he was inspired or angered or whatever, motivated to join jihad because of this. I said, you wait a couple days after whatever's going on here finishes. And I'm going to make the same prediction to you right now. That's what I told him last night. Okay, we've got an end to this now. The 2 terrorists are dead, 4 hostages dead, but this episode, till the next one happens, is now at its end. That means the retrospectives will begin by the time the Sunday shows come around. And a clear and reasoned look back, with now the smoke having cleared, the dust having cleared, and now the brilliant analysts will be able to tell us what really happened and why what really happened, and who was behind it. I'm going to tell you, because this clown said it's almost like he had a line into the Democrat National Committee. Because what's going to happen here is the media and the Democrat Party and Obama, if he chooses to, are going to seize on this terrorist citing Abu Ghraib photos as an opportunity to blame this event at Charlie Hebdo on George W. Bush. Don't smirk. You're sitting in there thinking it never happened. You're sitting in there thinking, no way, ain't going to happen. Do you really think that it's not going to happen? Wait till the dust clears and wait till the emotion subsides and wait till these people on the left realize what they got. They've got a terrorist. Go back to the original reason they said they published the Abu Ghraib photos, to show how horrible the U.S. was and how we were sacrificing and way beneath our values. And this is why the world hated us. Okay. So we now have a terror event which has captured the world and paralyzed the world for 2 or 3 days. And one of the terrorists involved said he only did it because of the photos at Abu Ghraib. You don't think the Democrat Party and the American media are going to, when they realize it, seize on this and blame it on the war on terror? You think they're going to blame this on Al-Qaeda in Yemen? You think they're going to blame this on Sheikh al-Waqi? You're going to blame this on militant Islam? They're going to blame this on the war on terror. They're going to blame this on the war in Iraq. They're going to blame this on the war in Afghanistan. They're going to blame it if it's Abu Ghraib that made the guy do what he did. Well, who did Abu Ghraib? George W. Bush. U.S. military. You want to make a bet? It's not going to be, I'll tell you what, it's not going to be people really, you know what, the New York Times is responsible for this. They published those Abu Ghraib pictures. The New York Times created this backlash. That's what really happened. We'd have to publish those pictures. But the Democrat Party and the media, the opposition to Bush, was intent on doing so. Obama hasn't stopped blaming Bush for the economy or a whole bunch of this.